College Network, TSPN, and now back to authors, writers, books, and beyond.
Hi, welcome back to the third segment of Authors, Writers, Books, and Beyond. I am your host, Kathy Boyd Fellure, and my wonderful guest this evening is Carole Brewer. And we have been talking about her music and Bible Chicks and Christian Women in Media. And we're going to go into a retreat program she compiled over a number of years that I think you've presented it here and in other states.
Yes, I have. Well, I've been doing women's events for quite a while. I've been in ministry since the 80s, so that will just date me a bit and let you know kind of like I've been doing this for a while. And before speaking, I was a music guest with many other well-known speakers and have been to a lot of the well-known areas, Mount Hermon and just a lot of the parks, and as well as many, many churches. And I was a concert artist for churches, so did all of that. And then I met Carole Kent. I was in Canada doing 100 Huntley Street. I was on that program in the, it's in the Toronto area or Burlington, Ontario. And so that's where I was a music guest when speaker Carole Kent, and speaker and author, was on that program. And she said, you know, you really need to speak. You already give your testimony and all. So she invited me to Michigan, and I had attended actually after that 4 of her different Speak Up with Confidence training sessions, training seminars, and I did the music for those as well. Then I went through the training, and as because she really kind of dangled that carrot, you know, you really need, you know, just to take that next step above what I was doing. I was already talking, so let's formulate some actual messages, and so that's what she was training me to do, and her sisters and her team. And so over a period of time, God has opened a lot more doors for me to do both the music and the message for women's retreats. And so it's pretty neat because I bring the whole package, and it makes it easy for event planners, especially if they haven't done a lot or they feel a little intimidated, like, oh my goodness, a retreat, I don't even know where to begin. Because I've done so many, I know, you know, I can tell you what kind of food to get, you know, so I really have a pretty easy package of you know, decorating ideas and everything. How to decorate the platform. I have a little skit to start it off that a couple of the hammy gals in the group can come together and dress up and be in my skit to start it off. And so what it is, it's a 4-session retreat, and it usually is on a Friday night, a Saturday morning, Saturday evening, and Sunday morning. That's the most common, but you know, it could be 3 on Saturday, and sometimes, you know, people will just adjust that schedule or start on a Thursday and end on Saturday. Just everybody needs to get back at church on Sunday or whatever. Yeah. So, you know, I'm flexible. I've done it several different ways, but that Friday night through Sunday morning is the most common. And that Saturday afternoon off for whatever they want to do. And I also do some voice workshops. Sometimes I'm asked to do that. I'll be doing that this coming fall. I'll be at Mount Hermon for Church of the Highlands, and I'll be presenting this retreat. And it's called the King and I Women's Retreat. And so this is the best of what I've done over the last couple decades of my speaking, and it's the best of all of that. And
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Have you ever been asked to do the voice lessons at the Mount Hermon Christian Writer Conference? It's always the week before Easter.
Not the voice class, no.
That would be great.
Yeah, you know, for singing, for the writers?
Yeah, well, some of them have other things incorporated in.
Sure. Well, I do bass. I've been doing that for about a decade, so that could.
Just curious.
Yeah, that would be great. A great idea. So, you know, the people, in fact, when I was asked to do this retreat coming up at Mount Hermon because I was at the Bass Conference. And so the church that asked me, I had been there before as a singing guest several times in the past, and by being at Bass, they were reminded, and then they did invite me to come and speak for their women's retreat this year. So that's a real blessing. But it's 4 sessions, and you know, it's a great blessing to be able to share the different aspects of our Lord, but it really is about our identity, and His identity first. That's how I begin it. And it's about Him. A lot of people say, oh, why don't you just do a whole first night about yourself? A lot of people ask that. And I go, well, it's not about me. It's about the Lord. I can tell you how I came to know the Lord or called myself a Christian. I can tell you that, but I'll do that at the end. I want that first session to be all about the Lord, the truth of His Word. And so it's called Trusting in His Love. So I want to establish why we can trust Him why. So I give reasons why. And then the second session, then it's, okay, we know who he is now. How about us? How do we stand in relationship to him? So it's called Living as a Woman of Royalty. And then it's really funny and fun, but then it gets kind of serious because it talks about the lies of our enemy, of who we think we might be, and how that numbs us and how we really aren't, we just don't meet our full potential. Yeah. But then from God's Word, the truth of His Word, who we really are in Christ. And so that is my joy, to be able to talk about the truth and the lies, and let's walk in the truth. And it's a very powerful session and a good thing to think about for a while before the third session, which is called Entering His Throne Room. And we talk about prayer, and then we go into a concert of prayer. And for some women, they've never been 45 minutes or more in prayer. Yeah. And so it's an awesome time. It's, for many, the mountaintop experience of the retreat. And the concert of prayer is modeled after, many years ago, I sang several times I've had the privilege of singing with Johnny Erickson Tata and her retreats and conferences. And Johnny did this concert of prayer. I was at Cannon Beach, Oregon with her conference, and she did that, and we were in a small room, and I just thought, oh boy, I'm going to write down exactly what she did and do that, model that, because I felt it was so powerful. So that is what I've been modeling my concert of prayer after hers. And then the last session on Sunday morning, or whenever the last one is, it's called Worshiping Our King. And it's a time of where we celebrate all that God has done for us, that release. I have an opportunity to give an invitation. And then we talk about worship as a lifestyle, from God's Word, what they've done in the past in the Old Testament, but then how we can live and apply that to our lives today. So when we go from that place, we go with great ideas of how to actually walk out our faith. So that's the King and I Women's Retreat. I do the music as well, so I begin with worship from the piano, and I use tracks, and it flows all together, and women learn songs and sing with me, and if there's some musicians there, they can join me. And so it's a really powerful weekend. I know the Lord has used it in great ways in the past, so that's why I'm motivated.
And you've been doing it about 7 years?
Yes, my first one was up in Oregon, and then I've shared my retreat for two different groups, one in Missoula, Montana, and Billings, and then I was in Arizona last fall for a group in south of Phoenix, and all around northern and central California. So
anyone can contact you from anywhere.
Absolutely, yes. I do travel. Yes, I've shared women's retreats in Pennsylvania and also in Virginia. So I've traveled and
coast to coast.
Yes.
That's wonderful. So look Carole up, and you negotiate with each one individually.
I do. Depends on the size of how many will be attending and their budget. So I work with each event planner, and my purpose is to not be a burden on their budget, but to work with them, because my main purpose is to really just get there, and if they're feeling led to invite me, I'd like to just be there and share, because I know that this retreat has proven to be a life-changing retreat for women. So.
And do you have any coming up in 2016?
Yes, well, I have some definitely not confirmed, but absolutely looking, quite a few.
Local or far away?
All around. All around, some in Oregon and Idaho. And so I'm being considered, so I don't have them confirmed. But they are looking, so I'm grateful.
And I am knowing you, this was put together through prayer. You mentioned Johnny.
Yes.
And you use her model.
Yes, for the concert of prayer.
For the concert of prayer part. Was it surprising at first to find out how many women that was a new thing for? 45 minutes of prayer.
Amazing, and age-wise too. Young women with that maybe have never been to a retreat. Somebody dragged them there, and they're like, "Well, what am I doing here?" And it's amazing. It's kind of fun. If I'm in the restroom or something, I'll hear somebody else singing one of the songs I did. With that, they don't know I'm in there, and that's kind of fun. And different things. So I get that confirmation and lots of hugs after the prayer time. And because what we really do is we really end that concert of prayer outside. It's a chance for women to write their burdens down and to put them before the throne of the Lord and leave them there.
Leave them there.
Yeah,
For
and then
when they
and there's
go.
closure and at times. So it's a great time of release, and of course I want women to be able to go to sleep at night with a feeling a great release and comfort, because that's what a retreat is. I don't
Yes,
want
it is.
it shouldn't be stressed out. We should be a time of relaxation and refreshment, renewal, and maybe
Reviving.
reviving, but maybe a first time, maybe not a renewal, just a transformation. Could be a first real encounter with the Lord, being in His presence.
And do you get a lot of first-time people at the retreats?
I get some. There are some. Not usually, because usually mostly women that are already at church, they're motivated. But I do. There are always some that come for the first time, and they're always curious, what is this going to be like? So, what have I gotten into? And so my prayer is I do not disappoint them, that they go away really excited and just transformed and excited about a new, fresh walk with the Lord.
And do you ever, because you give this retreat, do you ever go on one yourself?
Occasionally. Well, yes.
Do you have time?
Not too much. I've been in quite a few over the years, many conferences and retreats, so I've experienced that. And then at our home church, when we have events, and when I'm able to, I'll attend. So yes.
It is a refreshing experience, isn't
Yeah,
it?
just to get away and let someone, just get ministered to. So yes.
Well, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
We're going to take another break here in a few minutes, and we're going to finish at the end here, find out a little bit more about Carole and some other things she does, but also about her herself and some things she has written that are in these books.
Yes.
And I'm going to share a little with you about what's in these books. So I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed this musical retreat and Bible Chicks Bible study Christian Women in Media blend. Carole is very talented, also humble about it. She gives her gifts back. So I hope you might be interested to experience some of that. I'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.